Welcome to Sovereign Commercial Services. We are live again with our fourth podcast with myself, Lynn, with People and Culture, and welcome Ivan again.
Hello, I'm glad to be here. Ivan Mofiti. I'm training manager and assistant to People and Culture.
Thank you, Ivan, for that recap because we just don't remember who you are every week.
I know.
So we're here again today, and we have a new guest with us, and we are excited to have him with us. This is Alex Temple, and he is one of our client service managers, but so much more, which you'll get to find out about. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you for having me, Lynn.
No problem. So we're going to talk today. Our listeners are going to be interested to hear a little bit about your story. We're going to ask you some questions like we normally do in our podcast. And, it's supposed to be fun and free and give your answers the best that you can. And Ivan, chime in, as you always do.
I certainly will.
Okay. So we're going to introduce Alex to everyone, our listeners and our current staff that's working with us, and talk a little bit about his story with Sovereign, which is pretty exciting. So, Alex, we're going to get to you right away. Tell us when you started with Sovereign.
Lynn, I started with Sovereign in October of 2012. I will be with Sovereign for 6 years this upcoming October.
That's crazy.
Excellent.
Again.
Yes.
Another long-term employee, which we're so proud of. Your experience with Sovereign, we were talking a little bit about before we started the podcast about how incredible your experience has been here, and you are actually in a case of our not only our core values, which is opportunities for all, one of them,
Yes.
but just the fact that you've been in every position since you've started with the company. So let's talk a little bit about that, because it truly is something to be proud of, and we're proud of it, and we're proud of you, and we thank you for that. So tell us, when you first came to Sovereign, going back now to 2012, tell us how you came about coming to Sovereign.
Well, I was working my other full-time job at the time. I came across the ad in a newspaper for a position. I applied and I got a job full-time as a warehouse cleaner for Sovereign. I was with that position for about a year before I decided to move up to the facility assistant team
Okay.
and started moving about to all of our different locations from there.
Okay.
Can you tell us what the facility assistant team is?
Our facility assistant team is our team of employees that cover for our employees that are out, miss time, called off, or if we have open positions at any of our locations.
Okay. So I wanted to just jump back real quick, because you said something when you came here, you applied, you saw the ad in the paper, which a lot of people do, or they apply online, and some things have changed since then too, because we're so much online today. But what were you doing that sparked you to apply with Sovereign?
At the time I was working a full-time position, was not paying a lot of money, was not able to move up in the company, so I was looking for another job that would give those opportunities.
Okay. Were you doing facility cleaning?
I was not.
Okay. So again, there's a great example of how people can come to our industry and learn the industry and move up in the industry if they're willing to do that. And there's nothing wrong with staying as a facility cleaner or facility assistant, because if you like it and enjoy it, that's great. So as part of your experience being an FA, you then moved into what was after the FA, or the...
After the FA role, I moved into our facility specialist role for a while there. I was assistant doing floor care projects with the team. After that, I moved up doing coverage coordinator, and I was also a part-time trainer with the company.
Great. So your experience then, when you became an FA and facility specialist,
Right.
too, which is the floor care trainers, what made you have an interest then to say, you know what, I really liked an opportunity to go into management? Like what was the drive for you at that point?
At my previous job, I worked as a shift lead. I did have management experience in the past. I wanted to continue doing that. And with Sovereign, I was given the opportunity to train and learn in the company, and moved up little by little.
Yeah, and really in 6 years. Think about it. It's really not a lot of time. I mean, as far as moving up, I mean, it's pretty standard in some of the industries today that, you're usually in one position for maybe 1 or 2 years, and you've been in 4 positions. So that really is right on the timeline. with that. And you have a very similar story, similar to Ivan,
Yeah.
although Ivan came in, a little bit different
Right.
and moved into different,
couple
again,
different
touched in
roles.
many different roles on the other end of that, which is something to be really proud of. Let's talk about your experience as far as if you're out and about. So you're with somebody and you meet them, or they say, "What's sovereign?" And we get that a lot because
Yeah.
sometimes people confuse us, and they're like, "Well, what's sovereign?"
Right. So let's say, for instance, you're out, and it could be anywhere at a gathering. It could be you're going into a store. Somebody sees you with your Sovereign shirt on, and they ask you, "What is Sovereign? What do y'all do?"
I would tell them about what Sovereign is, what the forms of cleaning we do, whether it's at a bank, a office, a call center, or a warehouse facility. I would tell them about the opportunities we have within our company, the different positions we have, and just how Sovereign is.
Okay.
So with have anybody ever asked you what sovereign is?
Numerous times.
I know we get that a lot too. Even when
yeah,
we're
I
running an ad, they're like, "Oh, Sovereign, I don't think I've ever heard of them." Well, you should, because we're one of the
Right.
largest facility cleaning companies in northeastern
That's
PA.
right.
And then we've talked about it before. We have over 250 employees. So yeah, people should really know about Sovereign. So we definitely want to make sure that we're relaying that information to them. But so when you're out and about and you say, they say, "What's Sovereign?" What's great about that too is we have people here to train people that don't have experience, and you were part of that. You're out and about training people and meeting people that don't have experience or come from different backgrounds too, as far as employment. So if you had to pick one thing, and I know we were talking about this before, but one thing about our current team, if somebody said to you, "What do you like about Sovereign? What's really the drive for you?" What do you think that would be?
The biggest thing is the teamwork that the company has between the managers, the employees, the training team, everyone in the company. There's always someone there to work with you at all times.
That's great, and I think that's very important for our employees to know, is that it is about teamwork. It's one of the things. We do have many other things that we're proud of, but yeah, especially with the FA team, they have to work together really well because they're covering and they're all over the place.
So, Alex, tell me and the listeners a little bit about what your day is like. What is the typical day for a client service manager?
For me, my day is I'm mainly out in the field. I have accounts ranging from the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton area up to Hazleton and down to Milton, Pennsylvania. I'm meeting with clients and employees every day. I also work with our coverage team and our project team as well. So I'm constantly working with them. I'm always going on projects with our team and assisting them.
That seems like a lot. How do you find the time in a day to do all those things?
It takes a lot.
It's a lot of hard work,
Yeah.
a lot of hours.
Yeah, dedication.
And dedication, and that comes with anything, and that's with any job. It's depending on what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it, and that's from being a facility cleaner to being an FA to being a manager. Whatever you put into it is really important that you remember to get back from it. So that's excellent. So how many employees do you have approximately that report to you that you work with?
At this time, I believe I have around 50 employees.
50 employees. Wow.
Wow,
Okay.
that's great.
Yeah,
Great.
that's pretty amazing. Plus, they're not all in one location. So
No.
when you think of management and people are out there managing, they're like, "Oh yeah, I have 50 employees on my shift." Well, yeah, but you're not also traveling 2 hours
different
to get
places.
to those employees.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
What is one of the things that you enjoy the most about Sovereign that you would say makes them stand out from other companies?
Again, I would say it would be the teamwork. That really is the biggest thing here.
Great. Well, we thank you, Alex, for coming in and sharing your story. We hope our listeners now get a better understanding of what your background is, because when you're out in the field, you don't get that opportunity sometimes to talk about your experiences, obviously, because we're so busy and we're working, but it's an appreciation of we all come from different scenarios, and we don't get that opportunity to. And in fact, I learned a little bit more about you today because I couldn't remember back to 2012 where you came from or what you were doing. So it gives me an understanding of wow, there's Alex out there, and to our listeners, he's a little on the shy side, so, but he does a very, very, very good job, and I know you have respect for your team, and your team has respect for you, and that goes a long way with the company. And we hope for more exciting things for you from Sovereign. Ivan, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I just want to add that I think Alex is probably the ideal employee you want that comes into your company, learns what you do, and then just branches out and learns to do a little bit of everything. And it's a great story of how you can advance, how there are opportunities for all. You're living proof of it. So
Exactly.
we're glad to have you here.
It's not just a wording on our wall or our core value. It's actually what we do live and breathe. Breathe it every day, and that's why we always talk about our core values, doing our core values, and that's the reason why. Because here's another one. Opportunities for all. So many of them. We talked to so far, some of our guests have talked about being customer focused and, always honest, and this is opportunities for all. So it's great. Well, we appreciate it. Thank you for taking time out. You're busy. We know you have to get back out on the road and stuff. Ivan, as always, it's a pleasure.
Yes, and hopefully we'll have you back again, Alex.
Thank you
All
for
right.
having me.
Thank you. All right. If you have to learn more about Sovereign Commercial Services, please check us out online. And that would be at sovereigncs.com. Sovereign, let's work together. We are equal opportunity employer and drug-free workplace. Catch you next time.
Thanks for listening.